Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the channel, and today as you might remember from my last video, I'm going to be going over the 5 mods in modded Minecraft that I absolutely just cannot live without because they are too awesome. So let's go and get right into it. I already booted up a world. For this is just creative mode, so I can actually access all the different stuff. So, as you can see, the game is definitely modded from the top right view and from this being here. So, first things first, I want to go into the #1 mod that I always have in my games. Well, the 2 mods that I always have in my games, really, because both of them are just, they're practically required. So, yeah. And the first one, if I press E, is JEI. As you can see, I have a bunch of stuff here. This is one of those mods that you just see in a lot of videos. If you watch a lot of videos on people using or people playing Minecraft, like this is a mod right here. This entire screen here is all just a mod called JEI. So this is probably one of my favorite mods just because it's so easy to use, and it gives you a list of all the different stuff. So say I want to know how to craft, I don't know, like oak planks. If I click on it, then it'll tell me how I can craft oak planks and all the different ways, all the different things that I can craft it with. So yeah, and what's even better is that it works with every single mod that you have. Any mod that adds anything to the game, JEI will read as long as it has any form of material that is obtainable through that mod. So yeah. But yeah, as you can see, it just gives you a good list of everything, and if I want to see what you can craft with oak planks, I can simply right click it, and it gives me all this stuff over here. So I can just go through all the different things that can be used for, and it's very useful for actually pinpointing how exactly to make something. And what's even better is that if I grab a crafting table from here, and then let's say I want to craft oak planks through this, I can grab oak wood and then I can place it here. But then if I go to here, I can press move items, and it'll put all the stuff that you need to have in the exact place that you need to have it in either craft this thing. So I can easily just, like, if I want to, okay, so now that I have 4 oak planks, what if I want to create some sticks? I can always just click it once, or I can go to here and shift click, and it'll put all the stuff there to maximize it. So now I have 8 sticks. But yeah, very, very useful mod. It is probably one of the best mods that I know of, just because it makes life so much easier. So yeah. Next up on the list is something that is already here at the top right of the screen called Journey Map. What this does is it's basically just a big mini map, or you could press J and it'll open up a big map over here of everywhere you've been. It'll give you night, it'll give you day, it'll give you topography, all this stuff here. You could delete the map, you could save it, you can do all this stuff. You can even put waypoints somewhere. So like right here, for instance, I can change the color so it's like all this. So I don't know, hello. I can put it here and I can do this, and now I have a waypoint. Probably one of the most useful mods for any form of actually moving around. So yeah, very useful to have. And when you don't want that waypoint anymore, you can simply go to it and remove, and there you go. So yeah, very, very good mod. Short and sweet, just like JEI. But now let's start getting into the actual real mods, the stuff that really adds stuff. Like, for instance, one of my favorite mods, Tinker's Construct. This is also a very popular mod, and a lot of people may recognize half of these mods. So, what Tinker's Construct is it's basically just a kind of I guess it's a little medievalish, but it's mostly just forging stuff. So I can actually make some of the stuff like this, for instance. Or I'll just delete it. Okay, then. But if I go to JEI, also this is another feature. If you do @ and then type in the mod, it'll show all the stuff in the mod. But yeah, so if I want to, I could make, I don't know, a cactus rapier. And all I have to do is simply get all the parts for it and actually put them together in a separate crafting station, depending on what I'm having, because there's two forms of forges. There's a standard one right here, which is just a tool station, which has all the basic stuff, but then you can replace it with a tool forge, and it really has all the stuff. This is also where you can have the crafting station, which is very nice to have, because I can actually put stuff in there, and it'll stay there until I go back to it, unlike the crafting table, which obviously doesn't. So yeah, it's a lot nicer. And as well, something as well that you can do is that if you attach it, attach the crafting table to like the other things you'll need for standard Tinker's constructs, so like the stencil table and the part builder, then it'll all be here. So I could just switch between them however I want, and it's really useful. So yeah, and I can also make a bunch of these random tools like this for some reason, which I don't even know what this does. And there's a lot of different stats and stuff, and a lot of different things you can do. But some stuff requires different methods of actually getting. So you can't just use the part builder to build all the parts and stuff like that. You will also need to actually cast stuff, which is where the smeltery comes in. And this is a smeltery, or at least a standard one, rather. And it is a very powerful smelting thing. So say I want to smelt some iron, wherever I find that. There it is. So if I throw iron ore in here, as you can see, it's not going to do nothing right now because there's no fuel in the smeltery. But if I get myself a bucket of lava, I can do that, and now all of a sudden it's smelting it. And you can even see it in there. So it's very useful for smelting, and it's just really dope for any form of forging going on. If you want to make some really cool stuff, you can. If I want to make like some, I can throw grout in here, which is used to actually make the smeltery, and I can actually do some cool stuff with that. I can basically smelt whatever I want in here, and it will smelt just fine, and turn it to liquid, which you'll see in just a second as soon as this finishes smelting. Yep, there's the grout, which gives me seared stone, and then there's the iron right there, and I can always just switch this. So yeah, so if I want to, I can just or maybe I can't. Well, fudge. Okay, well, if I could, then I would. So basically, there's a bunch of different stuff that you can smelt stuff into, but you do need like certain casts to actually do this. So yeah, and there's a bunch of different stuff in the game that you can make, and it's just really, really cool how it's done. And honestly, I could play around with this literally all day, and it's just so fun just to mess around with, because it's just so cool just making something like this. So yeah, and then another feature that is just really awesome for the smeltery. Let me just go and quickly grab this. Let's see, yeah, sword blade. I can throw that there, and now I can pour that in there, and it'll dry out, and then you can grab it. But another really cool feature in this is that if I grab the 2 ingots that are in the game, but there's more ingots that this will work with, but this is just an example. If I throw these in together, after a little bit, once they smelt, you should see something very interesting happen. Actually, let me offset it a little bit. So yeah, you can see they're in there. And yeah, oh, well, that was a mistake. So let's get rid of all that. But yeah, you can basically forge literally whatever you want out of this, and it's just really, really, really cool. Because there's just so many different things that you could make by using this, and this works with basically most mods. So I could throw literally anything in here. In fact, I could actually, like, if I was in survival, I could drop myself in here and it would actually start hurting me. As you can see now, that Ardite is melted, and you can see you got molten Ardite, but the second the Cobalt is melted, you should see something interesting happen between both the melted Ardite and the Cobalt stuff. Yep, right there. You can alloy stuff, and when you put these two things melted together in here, it makes a resource called Manilian, which is only obtainable through that form of stuff. So if I put this here, then it will dry out, and now I have a Manilian ingot. So now I have an alloyed ingot that you can't normally get without alloying it. So yeah, and it's just really cool stuff that you can do with this. Like, you can do this with other mods, and you can do this with this mod. There's just so many different things that you can actually do, and they all make just a bunch of different resources that are very useful in the end of the day. And as well, something that happens in this mod is that every time you spawn into a world, it'll always give you this Materials and You book, and if you open it, it gives you a perfect it gives you a walkthrough of all the ways you get, like, the different stuff. So if I want to say Cobalt, it'll tell me like what I can do with it and stuff like that, and it's just really nice to have. So yeah, but yeah, anyway, moving on to the next mod, which is probably my personal favorite mod of all things when it comes to just mods in general, and that would be a mod called Mechanism. And this mod may seem familiar to anyone who actually watches some mod playthroughs. So basically, what Mechanism is it is a machinery mod. And it can do a lot of different things. Like, I can make jetpacks, I can make like ore systems, which is what you're seeing right here. I could make power, like what you're seeing back there. Like, it's near infinite what you can do with all these different types of machines, and you can automate so much, and it's so fun. So yeah, so you got this thing right here, my baby right here, the digital miner, and this thing is just really cool because it mines a bunch of the stuff that's in the chunks surrounding it, or like a certain distance around it, without leaving a big hole in the ground. So I've already configured it to some stuff, but if I start it, it'll start mining all this. I forgot to set it to auto eject. So yeah, it's just really, really cool. And honestly, like, this system is just way too much fun to mess around with. So I could literally just mess around with this sort of stuff like all day long. And it's one of the more popular mods out there, and it just has so much stuff in it that you can do, and it's just so much fun. Because you can make, like, these massive machinery lines that just smelt ore after ore after ore, or like refine stuff, or just build literally whatever you want, and you could just make it go on for just miles, and it's just so cool. And I do not know why this isn't working. I don't understand what the fudge is going on. Alright, well, never mind, I guess. I'm not going to be doing that. But basically, the way it was supposed to work was it would just mine, and it would slowly just go through here and go through the different things here, and it would be outputted into there. But apparently, the game glitched out, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm sadly not going to be able to do that. But still, either way, it's a really cool mod, and it doesn't normally do this. I'm really confused why it's not working. But yeah, you can make a bunch of different power systems. You can make all this automated stuff that just mines stuff for you. If I wanted to, actually, I could basically just do something really stupid and add a new filter and make it stone. That would be dumb, but let's see what'll happen. I've never tried doing that before. But yeah, So, really cool stuff, and honestly, I could mess around with Mechanism all day, all night, and I would be super happy, because Mechanism is one of my favorite mods of all time, just because of the machinery implications. You can make so much cool stuff out of this. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next mod. This is going to be the final mod that I go over for today, and I will be going back into these mods in the future and going in depth into how to actually use them. So, like, I'll go through Mechanism's machinery, I'll go and figure everything out, and then I'll go and explain it all on video so you guys know exactly how to use the mod. Unless you guys want to experience it for yourself, once you do get mods, then just don't watch the video. But yeah, if you guys ever want a tutorial on how to use a certain mod, I'll probably know how to use it depending on what the mod is. And yeah, anyway, this is Draconic Evolution. And Draconic Evolution is probably one of the coolest mods that I know of. And it's just so much cool stuff in it. So, for instance, it has this fusion crafter thing with this dope animation. And it takes up a fudge ton of power. But basically, it's just really cool the way it works, because you can make some really cool stuff out of it, but it's mostly an endgame thing. So now I have like this right here, which, oh wow, that's something I haven't seen before, probably because I haven't used this in a while. But yeah, and as you can see, I am using the Mechanism cables, and that is because, as far as I know, I don't remember if this mod has its own form of cable, but Mechanism just naturally is really useful for this, and I'm just using a creative energy source, so I don't have to actually set up a power system strong enough to handle this. But, well, I guess technically I already did, because over here I have another part of this mod that is just both awesome and horrifying. So, this is the Draconic Reactor. And this thing is horrifying. Like, this reactor core thing is dangerous as fudge, and it can destroy worlds if you're not being careful. So, yeah. But what this does is it basically makes, it makes power from basically nothing. Oh, fudge, okay. Well, that's interesting. But yeah. It's interesting because, like, you have so much stuff all around this, and it's like constantly draining power and just doing a bunch of stuff. It's really cool, but is very dangerous, especially this Draconic Reactor, because if it does not, if it loses stability, then it may explode and completely destroy your world to the point where, like, it leaves a blast radius that goes down the bedrock and leaves like a massive area. It is insane. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to show it in this video, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out in not in the description. Just go and look up Draconic Reactor blow up or meltdown or something. It is horrifying. Absolutely and utterly horrifying. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get this to work. For some reason, right now, it just does not work. Which is sad, because honestly, I really wanted to show you guys this thing blow up. But unfortunately, it does. Oh! Well, never mind. Now it's working. Okay. Alright, now we activate it. It's at max. Core temperature's rising. So this is a Draconic Reactor. Okay, I figured it out. I just had to immediately place it next to it. I don't know what was going on, but I got it figured out. So basically, this is a Draconic Reactor. And the way it works is it needs a kickstart, but the second that it's up, you can just keep giving it power, but it'll always give you more power back. And it's really, really good. Like right here, you can see, like, over 100,000 RF a tick. I don't know why this thing ain't working now. Maybe it's because I got rid of this. I don't know. So now, if this keeps going up, it'll eventually get to the highest temperature there is, at a very high speed apparently. Energy saturation. I don't even know what that means. But seriously, look at this. We're getting 500,000 RF a tick, which for anybody who doesn't know how ticks work in this game, ticks are basically... Oh! Okay. So apparently it got too close and broke the thing. That's an interesting thing. Okay, that's why it wanted me to go 9 blocks tall. Explosion imminent. Okay, well, when you guys make a Draconic reactor, make sure you, that you actually account for that, because this thing gets really big the hotter it gets. So, if you build this thing 3 blocks high, it will blow up the entire world. And you'll see what I mean like in a minute. Emergency shield reserve is now active, but it won't last long. There is no way to stop the overload. The stabilizers are fried. I suggest you run. It's gonna take 170 seconds before it blows up. So it gives you time to pack up your stuff and run away, as long as you have like a teleporter in hand or something. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jeez! What the fudge? And there you have it. Lag. Oh, there we go. There we go. Whoa, there's so much lag because we opened the fudging floodgates over here. Holy fudge. I think some other mods actually make it a little more excessive than what it is, but... Oh, wow, never mind. Yeah, it leaves a big hole there, but then it completely destroys because the shockwave. All this. Look, there's a big tsunami coming in here. A tsunami. Wow. This stretches so far back. How far does it go? It goes all the way to here and then stops. So anything within this radius is basically dead before you even get the chance to use it. Literally, everything here is destroyed. Look at how much destruction this caused. It literally could take down a mountain without any problems. Oh, well, that's definitely weird. It caused some floating grass to occur. But look at this. Look at the damage. Like, imagine if this was your base. Like, if you had a base and you put that thing in the center of it. If this went off, goodbye base. So that is Draconic Evolution, and those are my 5 mods that I absolutely cannot live without because they're too awesome. Except for this one little thing right here. Like, it's infinite power, but I don't know if it's even worth it. Oh, let's look at the village over here. Not even existent anymore. Wow. This is all that's left of the entire village. But yeah, so if you liked the video, if you enjoyed watching the video, like it. If you want to see more mods that I think are really good, or some tutorials on how to use some of these mods, then comment down below. If you want to see more content on this channel, subscribe. I could really use subscribers. And I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of 5 mods that I personally just cannot live without. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.